Hello everybody. Welcome back to my channel where stories and other random things take center stage. Welcome to today's video and Blind Woman Reviews, and today I am reviewing The Last Graduate by Naomi Novik. This is the sequel to A Deadly Education. If you have not seen that review, I will be linking it below. But without further ado, let us begin. A budding dark sorceress determined not to use her formidable powers uncovers yet more secrets about the workings of her world in the stunning sequel to A Deadly Education, the start of Naomi Novik's groundbreaking crossover series. At the Scholomance, Elle, Orion, and the other students are faced with their final year and the looming specter of graduation, a deadly ritual that leaves few students alive in its wake. Elle is determined that her chosen group will survive, but it is a perspective that is looking harder by the day as the savagery of the school ramps up, until Elle realizes that sometimes winning the game means throwing out all the rules. Praise for A Deadly Education. The Scholomance is the dark school of magic I've been waiting for, and its wise, witty, and monstrous heroine is one I'd happily follow anywhere, even into a school full of monsters. Catherine Arden, New York Times bestselling author of The Bear and the Nightingale. Ooh, interesting to read. Hold on. Novik deliciously undoes expectations about magic schools, destined heroes, and family legacies. A gorgeous book about monsters and monstrousness. What? Block with action, cleverness, and wit. #1 New York Times best-selling author Holly Black. Oh, we've read her before. A must-read. Novik puts a refreshingly dark adult spin on the magical boarding school. Readers will delight in the push and pull of Elle and Orion's relationship, the fantastically detailed world, the clever magic system, and the matter-of-fact diversity of the student body. Publishers Weekly. Starred review. Ooh. So that is praise I thought I'd read in case you needed more convincing to read A Deadly Education. But I agree with some of the things said here. Not all of them, but yeah. Hey guys, give me a second. I have a call. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. I just needed to check who was calling me. Anyway, I do agree with some of the things that are said. I will say that although Orion and Elle's relationship is interesting, the romance is not my favorite part of this book. I'm just gonna set a big focus. So this book also has a similar issue than the first one, and that is the exposition and the amount of exposition being given at a time. I do think that the exposition again could be done a little bit better, a little bit less I don't know, less crazy in a way, like maybe less information at a time. I do think it should be, there should be of course world building and exposition, but I do think it should be left in given in a better way. I do think the relationship development from A Deadly Education to this book have been awesome. I really like the relationships that have developed in this book even more than I liked them in the first book. My favorite part about Elle's character is how matter of fact she is with everything she says and how negative she is. Like, she is the most negative character I have ever read in any book that I remember, at least in right now. And I live for her negativity and her matter of fact ways of dealing with things. Like, she's just like, listen, we might die, okay? And she's like this person. I just like feel like her character is kind of refreshing. I don't read that kind of character a lot, and I find myself kind of really liking it. I really enjoy it. Now that everyone is kind of basically graduating, the school is being very hard on everybody, and I lived for that too. I lived for school making students' lives hell for some reason. I enjoyed it so much. There is something about that was just beautiful about seeing the school give the students complete hell. I don't know why. I just lived for it, okay? It's very hard to explain why I live for school giving hell to students. Okay? I know how I sound, and I sound crazy, but seriously, there's something about that that's just amazing. But that doesn't matter, because that's just my belief at this point. Anyway, I think that was one of my favorite parts, I think, of this book, watching the school give the students complete hell. It was interesting, exciting, very, very, like, more interesting to read than, say Harry Potter, where the school is supposed to keep them safe. And although the school has magic, very little is employed, but this magic is cool. The one thing I think I really also didn't like about the book right now, again, there is very little exploration of Elle's like destructive magic. I really want to hear more about it. Like, she definitely used it because by the end she needed it, sort of. But also the ending was such a cliffhanger, and I cannot wait for her next book. I already have it on my want to read. I think it's supposed to come out next year, but I already have it on my TBR. See, on my TBR. Sorry guys. On my TBR on Goodreads, and I am like super, super, super excited to read it whenever it comes out, just like I'm super excited to read Sarah J. Maas. All the reading I want to do. There's so many books that I want to read. But yeah, there is definitely something about that that's just exciting, but I'm waiting for that. But the one thing I think I didn't fully like was also the development of Orion's romantic relationship with Elle, especially by the end, where it was like there was like a love confession at the end, and I'm just like, you've only known each other for you've known each other for a couple of years, and you've had a crush on her, but nothing more. And I didn't feel the romance. I feel like if you're going to have a romance for a subplot, it needs to be better developed, better everything. But there was so little development on the romance aspect that I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it at all. And I just felt like it was going to be there. One thing I want to mention is that although this definitely feels young adult, and although this is kind of, in a way, this is the school setting is adult, there is, even though not very descriptive, there is a bit of a sex scene somewhere in the book, and I wasn't like against it in YA, but I was surprised that there was a bit of a sex scene in the book. It wasn't fully described. It wasn't like a really detailed or graphic sex scene, but it was something that surprised me for it to be in YA. But hey, more power to the author, because it definitely feels YA. Like, this is the type of thing that feels YA. It doesn't feel adult, it feels YA. But hey, more power to the author for adding, even if it's not fully graphic, a sex scene. I feel like that was a good choice to do that, since like nobody there's like so many interesting things, and one of the interesting things we learned is about periods in this world, and I found it kind of interesting. So There is definitely more world building in this book, even though I thought it would all kind of be over in the first, but there's definitely more world building, and I live for good world building. So yeah. Anyway, I will come back tomorrow, by the way, again for another video. But these are my thoughts on The Last Graduate. Let me know your thoughts on The Last Graduate in the comments section. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow with a review of The Archive of the Forgotten by A.J. Hackwith, the second book in the Hell's Library series. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell so that you're aware the moment I upload a video or release a video. And I'll be back tomorrow, but until then, consume stories.